and salutations, listeners. I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hey.
And this is the Two Nerds Podcast. Tonight we're talking about sorcerers.
The ones who make the magic with the shooty shoot, but no study. And no guitar. This is Two Nerds Podcast. Woo!
Imagine if I hit the stop button. God, I could just see your reaction in my head and watch the wheels turning in your theoretical head, and I don't want to do the intro again, though. I mean, he already opened his wife-beating soda and everything, so...
I think I have to retire that bit because, it started off being, a very off-the-cuff thing, but... Now I think I'm edging into Carrot Top-esque prop comedy, and I don't like that about myself, so I think I'm going to retire the bit.
It's, I don't know, I think it's time, honestly. You know, it's funny, it's a good reference, but it's gotten to the point where it's like Bat Credit Card, and now you open the soda and I go, ha! Domestic violence. Speaking of bits that we were going to do, I'm sure this podcast is going to be long enough anyway, so I'm going to try to be swift here. Tom Campbell over at OWCH stole what you were going to be doing for your new bit last year, where he opens up the news with other internet people's openings.
I'm glad, because I never did that. And it's a really good bit.
It's a good bit. He does good things with it.
It's really solid, so I'm glad someone's using it.
And, I mean, it has the exact energy, too, because Pachiti has no idea what half of these things are. And since you watch a way different subset of YouTube than I do, you would have been pulling shit out, and I would have been like, okay, I have no clue what he just said. Hope it wasn't anything that's going to link us to some bad people.
PewDiePie taught us anything. It's always vet the people you reference.
Tom Campbell referenced Doug Walker in one of his. And
always vet the people you reference.
That comment section, my dudes. Anyway. Yeah, Sorcerer. Let's talk about it. That
makes sense. He's got a very iconic opening.
Oh, he does. He does.
Sorcerer man. Or woman. Or other. We're inclusive here on the Two Nerds Podcast. I don't know if other counts as inclusive. I don't think that's how they prefer to be referred to, but whatever. I'm tired. I was up lots today.
My back hurts and I'm 34.
Which
I know are our listener base, and they're like, oh, you sweet summer fucking children. Yeah. Sorcerer. There's not a lot to say about the core class.
No, it's a full casting skeleton.
Yeah.
There's all of the cool features that are inherent to Sorcerer, you get at level 1.
I think 2 is when you get sorcery points in metamagic.
Yeah, that's true. So 1 and 2, and then everything else is just more spells. And then the standard, ability score improvement, stuff like that.
More metamagic options. And metamagic is great. I think it's got a lot of cool options in it. I think it lets Sorcerer have its own flavor as compared to your more strict spellcasting classes.
I think metamagic is really great for a lot of reasons, but yeah, basically it is that metamagic is what makes the Sorcerer feel unique. I like the choice to restrict it to sorcerers. Their inherent, natural connection with the magic, allowing them to sort of bend and twist it to their whims. That's a neat way of going about it. And it lets them have their own niche. Yeah. You got to make choices that have a lot of repercussions every time you level because you pick a spell, and that's the end of it. You have that spell for a whole level, and lets you go use one of the most recent Unearthed Arcanas, which lets you change one spell a day, which I'm honestly not super happy with because I feel like it steps on Wizard's dick a little, and Wizard already doesn't seem to have much in this edition.
We usually do this in alphabetical order because we read from a list to figure out our shit. But if I may transition right into the subclasses, the Sorcerer's Origins.
I think so. I think that's smart.
Let's go to the bottom of the list here. That would be a great class feature for Wild Magic Sorcerer, which otherwise fucking sucks.
Yeah, Wild Magic Sorcerer is just garbage. It's garbage. It's bad. It is perhaps the single worst subclass we've read yet. And we've been through most of the classes at this point.
Yeah. And it's not just because, random is bad.
No. There's a version of Wild Magic Sorcerer which is excellent. Like the hypothetical version, you could have done this excellently. Random stuff, the idea of someone's magic being wild and out of control and causing random effects is super neat. But I've DM'd a Wild Magic Sorcerer that I just straight up said, literally roll that d20 every time you cast a spell because I want this to happen. And it never, in the entire campaign where he was a Wild Magic Sorcerer, and it was pretty long, it literally never came up. Now, they have a way to voluntarily, get advantage on stuff, and then the DM can trade in that advantage for, okay, roll off the Wild Magic table. And that's, that gives player control. It allows them to do only, unless they get very unlucky, only have to deal with the Wild Magic when they've gotten something in return for it in advance.
Yeah.
And that's fine and everything, but boy howdy, if the person who's playing your Wild Magic Sorcerer doesn't do that, they don't have a subclass.
Or doesn't think to do it.
Yeah, it's just completely boring.
Like, the only thing that they get that is not tied to your Wild Magic Surge...
Bend Luck.
Bend Luck and then Spell Bombardment.
And Spell Bombardment fucking sucks. It is the worst capstone.
For a capstone, that is shit.
It is the worst capstone on the worst subclass. Wild Magic Sorcerer is genuinely awful.
Like, we talk a lot about how the core rulebook is a little undertuned. Wild Magic Sorcerer is... I don't know how did you play this. Unless it's just because everybody who was playing was 100% for Wild Magic Sorcerer.
It was basically... Everyone who's playtesting probably took Tides of Chaos at every possible opportunity.
Sure.
Well, the thing is, it is by its very nature absurdly undertuned because there are a bunch of the effects on the Wild Magic table which are not beneficial. So literally they are a detriment to you and your party. You should be using that to make the rest of the class stronger.
Right.
But you very much did not do that.
Or instead of the D20 determining whether this happens at all, it determines what happens. And then your higher or lower numbers, whichever turns your crank, like the absolute highest or absolute lowest, are the biggest effects when you roll percentile.
Like, say, instead of having one big D percentile table, you had a bunch of smaller tables, and if you use if the Wild Magic Surge happens, you roll a D20 to determine which of the tables it comes from.
Sure.
So I'm going to go lowest is bad, highest is good, because that's how D&D works after 2nd edition. I'm sorry, grognards, it just is.
I don't know. Lately, lowest levels, pretty nice. Highest levels, fucking trip, man.
Oof. But like, let's say you roll a 1, there's a whole table you roll off of that's shitty. Yeah, and then you roll a 20, there's a whole table you get that it just like table of 20 options, and then you roll another d20 and it gives you what happens on that table.
Or even the percentile to have some bigger options in there.
Then you gotta make like 20 or like 5, let's say 5 bands of D percentile tables. Now, to be fair, one of the issues with Wild Magic Sorcerer is that there's just straight up not enough options.
Yeah, because if you play this class
as intended
and get to level 10 both times, and that's your thing, you're probably going to see everything except for like one thing on the list.
If you play it as intended, as the player, like taking all the advantage you can, getting Tides of Chaos off, several times a day. That way you roll several times a day, and it's not just dependent on you rolling a 1. If you play it as they clearly intend you to play it, then it either doesn't come up at all if you don't do that. And if you do that, it comes up so much, and like the D percentile seems like a lot of options. It's like 50 options.
Something like that.
It's 50. It is. Bands of 2 each option. That seems like a lot until you've played a character from level when do you get Wild Magic Surge? 2?
2, yeah.
From level 2 to level 10, you've seen them all. If you're playing the class as intended, you have seen them all. Or you have seen one 78 times and you're really fucking tired of turning into a shrubbery.
But even the stuff like Spell Bombardment, that could be on the table.
For the remainder of You know, for a minute or an hour or whatever is good. Honestly, for a week, that is an hour.
Even like midland spells, like your midland D20 roll, when you're like, okay, what wild magic do I get? You know, somewhere in there, spell bombardment goes off on the spell. Other shit could be, hey,
honestly, I would have made spell bombardment a more central part of the class.
Oh, and get it earlier, sure.
I would have moved it up about where Bend Luck is, because Bend Luck is a little... It doesn't really fit the rest of the class.
It does. It's got that Scarlet Witch energy to it, but...
That's not the class, though. The class is supposed to be wild magic sorcerer.
Yeah.
Wild and uncontrollable. Explosions. Spell bombardment fits more there. And also power level-wise fits a level 6 feature way more than a level 20 feature. Another thing that I have to bitch about in terms of Sorcerer, the Sorceress Origins, the subclasses, is they are, without a doubt, without exception, the most wildly balanced.
Yeah, there's some weird choices in there.
Like, they have the biggest variance between, like, this is the worst one, and the best capstone is broken. Like, I forget which one it is, we'll get to it, but it's just, they are the most wild, swingy set of shit. It seems like 4 different teams did these.
Well, I mean, like, the Sorcerer only had 2, I think, to start with. Maybe 3. I don't remember when Storm came out. I don't remember if that was, like, the first book after, or if it was with the core book. But, another thing you could do for the D20 roll, have meta magic shit go off. Like, that is random-ass middle and stuff. Hey, for this spell, because you rolled a 16 on the D20, you get twinned.
It's empowered.
It hits another guy. Whatever. You know, it's right fucking there.
And as fun as rolling shit is, and I respect that, there is an argument to be made that the random thing that happens, like your spell burst happens, it's wild magic, and then the DM picks a meta magic thing to happen.
Sure. Or that's fine too.
Because it allows me to DM better. Because speaking as a DM who's DM'd one of these and it never came up, I read through these fucking options, and some of them would just make it very hard for me to DM a session effectively.
Yeah.
Because they're just fucking wacky, and there's no way for me to control for tone.
Yeah. That's also something you have to consider. I like Wild Magic Sorcerer as an option. I like it
conceptually.
Yeah, conceptually.
If I ever were to, like, I'm going to be DMing that same character again, and we're going to be finishing the campaign. I'm going to do my best to work with him, but as a DM, if anyone's ever taking Wild Magic Sorcerer again, I'm going to have to homebrew them a version that doesn't suck.
Pretty much. 10 minutes of this podcast was bitching about
Wild
Magic Sorcerer.
It's right up front.
Let's just go through the rest of the classes, which are a lot better.
Yeah, the rest of these are fine. We both have a bug up our asses about this one because it's in the PHB and it's one of the only options for like so long before all the nice new options. The other bug up someone's ass you're going to hear about later. I'm going to bring it up now.
I've calmed down a lot on it.
No, I'm going to bring it up now because I read these and now I found your bug and it's up my ass. Why are there 5 pyromancers? What in the fuck? All right, non-jokingly, there are 2 straight-up fire magic.
And then there are 2 other subclasses, part of which is
fire magic.
And then there are 2 subclasses which are basically the same thing of like water, air, lightning magic. And then within those other 2 subclasses are again lightning magic. I threw a root beer. I'm so upset.
It's most egregious with there being literally 2. One of them is an Unearthed Arcana. One of them is a Plane Shift, like an actual book. Plane Shift.
Like one of the PDFs.
Yeah. Kaladesh, I believe it was. And you can tell one is an Unearthed Arcana because, spoilers, one of them sucks and the other one's great. Simple, but great.
But let's go back to alphabetical order here. We can bitch as we go. That's always fun.
I definitely will.
Aberrant Mind is the newest sorcerer.
You can kind of tell, to be honest.
Yeah.
Although, having read through all of these, Sorcerer also has some of the most samey mechanics, I think is the easiest way to explain it.
Because you don't get that many...
Like, I could just, like... Make a little song out of you get +1 hit point per level, your AC is 13 plus blah.
Yeah, and it's in
you get wings. And that one's really common for such a weird thing.
I only have a problem with it with one class, and we'll get to that in just a second. But they're
not bad. They're just there's not a lot of variety.
They act like they have the diversity of cleric domains because there's a lot of fucking cleric domains,
and they very much don't.
And they don't. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you count wild.
So
Sorcerer's Origins.
10 that are worth playing.
And there's 2 of them that have a bunch of different like branches, but honestly, only Giant Soul has actual branches, whereas Draconic is just more, what flavor of this bullshit do you want?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And they're super, like, weirdly samey. And, you know...
But again, they're good. They're not bad. It's just... There's a lot of holes in this that became apparent.
Let's slide through these. Let's do our best here. Aberrant Mind. Good Eldritch Horror stuff. I struggle to know what kind of campaign I would play this character in.
Well, it's because they went really gross with it for some reason. And not like, you know, beyond your imagining Shoggoth gross. More just, you're kind of like, you know, the bug from Men in Black near the end of the movie? That's kind of your character. You're just kind of gross and slimy for like a lot of the class features.
Well, they give you some options. I mean, you can even take it to where you're just like a powerful psychic being floating around and becoming impermeable and stuff like, with your psychic energy.
When I think, you know, Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, Malzahar from League of Legends is who comes to mind.
Sure, and you could kind of do that with this. You could just become so powerful, you just look a little otherworldly. They give you a lot of options and ideas.
A lot of suggesting for slimy. They really want you to be Slimer from the Ghostbusters. They really want that.
A lot of stuff. I like that there's options, though.
You shimmer with mucus is literally one of the class features.
Who doesn't shimmer with mucus once or twice in their lives?
We're going to move on.
I think it's flexible. I like the spells they add. I like that they add Warlock spells, because Warlock gets a lot of cool spells, but it's not a great class.
Unless you're playing a very specific kind of campaign.
And their capstone is nuts.
Yeah, it's real good. It's real fun.
I don't know about broken. I mean,
actually,
it seems powerful,
something I wanted to mention is, in general, I actually really like the, and there's only a couple that really do like a big version of it, and that's why I mentioned Aberrant Mind feels like the most recent, because it feels like they're finally getting their stride for balancing this class. I really like the classes that add additional spells to the Sorcerer, because you're a main casting class. Spells are kind of your bag.
Yeah, and Sorcerer's got such a limited scope of spells.
But it's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It gives you some flexibility and makes you feel more
and there's only a couple
flavorful.
that really do add more than a couple spells.
Yeah. Divine Soul is next.
I have played 13 levels of Divine Soul Sorcerer.
Well, you're the expert then. Tell me about it. Is it good?
Do you want to play a healer who, as the party levels up, is able to transition from main healer to healing DPS? Do you want to start playing a cleric and end up playing a Shakadan? Yes? Play a Divine Soul Sorcerer. It is really good at that exact thing. You feel, if you make the right decisions for your party, which will change depending on what your party is, but if you make the right decisions for your party, read meta magic, and spell choice and stuff, it feels really good. It's really solid. It's missing. The only thing it's missing is literally the thing that I'm a little reluctant as a DM to add to Sorcerer, which is Cleric's flexibility.
Yeah.
But if it had that, it would just be better Cleric. Well, not better, but
it'd be more arcane Cleric than what it is now.
And it feels really good to play. It's really fun. You're not a great healer. You're a good healer. And you are a good DPS, and that only ramps up as you get higher.
I have a complaint about, and this is the one we were going to get to. They get wings.
They do get wings.
And I get it from a conceptual level why they get wings.
Because Dragon Sorcerer got wings?
No, because, holy...
I can be your angle or your devil.
Yeah, I get that. But also, it's weird. It doesn't fit the rest of the kit. Why do I need to be able to fly regularly?
Because Dragon Sorcerer got wings. It's the same feature.
It is.
It's the same feature. Theirs is slightly better because theirs are intangible, so they don't have to get special armor and clothes made for their big dragon wings. And it's the same feature in that you summon them and then you just have them. It's not like you summon them for an hour, or you summon them for a minute. No, you just summon them and then you just have wings. You just have wings forever until you get incapacitated or you get rid of them. And if you get incapacitated, you can just take another bonus action to do it again.
It's just I would not have put that there. I would have maybe put an option to get wings.
I mean, I really like it because it's a really cool feature. I'm looking forward because the next level up I will get wings. And I've literally been foreshadowing it in character for a couple levels now.
Well, and it's perfect for some people, but like, okay, man, you don't think about it, or you build this character around a god that isn't wingy. My divine spark is from a non-wingy god.
Mine, for instance, in character, for the character I'm playing, is from an archfey. A good archfey. They're not really wingy. I'm expecting to get the dragonfly wings.
I'll do that to you. We'll talk. But, boy, the cat is just investigating the back of the TV right now.
He's very upset because
this is a side story. He found a magic rubber band repository behind there.
And so he just keeps bringing rubber bands out.
Bringing rubber bands out. I don't even know where they came from.
To, like, play with, and we keep having to take him from them because he'll eat them.
And that's bad for cats.
And then he goes back there and gets more.
I think he's finally out. I think he's finally removed of rubber bands.
Yeah, no, he's just waiting for us to be away from
or
TV.
something, one or the other. Anyway, Divine Soul Sorcerer, overall good class. Wings weird.
I like him as someone who's played Divine Soul Sorcerer and used a Divine Soul Sorcerer as a very important NPC in a campaign where I foreshadowed her getting wings for 10 levels.
And it was good. Like, that's good. But if you're like, man, I'd love to be a Divine Soul Sorcerer of the Earth God, I mean, you can do something with that. You can make real cool dirt wings or metal wings or something. That's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Just, we got to work with this. We got to work with these wings here.
It's a great feature mechanically. It is a great feature mechanically. It's a fun feature fluff-wise. But if you don't put some work in as a character or as a DM to foreshadow it coming to work, it does kind of come right the fucking left field. Yeah, and I'm not going to dispute that.
It's over-specific, which is a lot of the problem I have with a lot of D&D classes, subclasses anyway. Moving on, Draconic is...
Sorcerer. It's Sorcerer. It is the Sorcerer.
Well, I mean, it is, and then it also kind of sucks.
Yep.
Like,
Draconic Presence isn't great.
And Draconic Wings is okay, but like...
It's exactly as good as the other one.
Your Elemental Affinity is great when you get it, but after level 10, who gives a fuck?
I mean...
You get to add +5 damage to all of your attacks. Like, to one target of multi-target attacks. It's just... Add your charisma modifier to your fire cantrip. Well, and the rest of your spells too, but like, it's not that great. That's a thing with D&D in general, is that something I've noticed actually with this class, as a DM who has DM'd fairly high level D&D in 5e now, some of the features don't scale super well. Yeah. Like, stuff that is, scales as, you get damage equal to your sorcerer level. As someone who's DM'd, level 15 D&D, that's the highest level of a campaign I've DM'd, who gives a fuck? 15 damage is literally chump change at 15th level. It is negligible. Nobody fucking cares. Those are the kind of things that, like you said, are great when you get them, but they just don't scale well. Yeah, and it reminds me of... that's way better than just your charisma modifier, which is only ever going to be 5. Right, yeah. I was rereading that because I was like, oh, well, if it's the level, that's at least a bit better. Like, no, it's 5. It's not great. But... Adding your flat damage to your fire cantrip to, like, Scorching Ray, 1 to each ray or whatever. No, just 1 to 1 ray. Oh, that's true. Drop a fireball on somebody, 1 dude takes 5 more damage. Is that really how that... Yes!
No, that's not what that says. It says you can add the charisma roll to 1 damage roll for that spell. So Fireball does it to everybody, but indeed Scorching Ray would only do it to him.
Yeah, that's fair. Although it depends on how...
The other half of it where you can spend a sorcery point, which just...
To gain resistance, that's fine.
For an hour? That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, look, sorcery points fall off trees at a certain point.
Yeah.
I find it hard to run out of the damn things.
They're not key points, that's for damn sure. But, yeah, it's not. It just doesn't scale well. And it's like, the big thing about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, was, this spell is ruining Dungeons and Dragons. Healing Word is OP.
Healing Word is OP until level 6.
Yeah, and then at which point you're like, oh god, this spell is immediately fucking useless.
No,
Here's
OP until level 6.
Hit points.
It is OP until level 6. It is fine until level 8. I have not cast it since then. It is worth a spell slot until level 8, at which point you might as well retrain the damn thing, because it is just not worth it. And if you're this is the dirty little secret, having played a bunch of Divine Soul Sorcerer, just get Reach spell and use Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not a bonus action, but if you're willing to mix it up a little bit, get Quicken spell. Congratulations, Cure Wounds is now a bonus action. Or class Cure Wounds as a regular action and quicken your cantrip, which is cheaper. It's if you play the Divine Soul Cleric right, you don't need Healing Word. I have it. I'm not retraining it because to be perfectly frank, I don't need another first level spell.
But it is an exact example of one of those things that feels strong when you get it at first, but it
is.
Falls the fuck
Until
off.
like level 6, it is actually pretty OP.
Yeah, it's alright.
It can swing encounters.
Sure.
Until level 6.
Which is exactly what you want for your low-level party, who you might accidentally kill. Once you get to 15th level as a DM, you're trying to kill these fuckers. You're like, this guy's got 10 instant death abilities, save or nothing, you fucking are dust, and your party is like, alright, I would like to take his pants off and laugh at his tiny penis.
Just so we're clear, he's only partly joking. I literally threw them up against a CR 18 Demi-Lich, who, for those of you playing the home game, has a save or you go to 0 hit points ability. They failed exactly 0 of those saves. No, 1. One person failed it 1 time because I boosted it up to 19 from the garbage 15 or 16 that it was before the combat, because I saw that number and went, they're never failing that. By level 15, buddy, you're just not going to fail that save. Moving right along.
Giant Soul Sorcerer. I think it's pretty cool. They actually do a lot of flexibility with their subclasses, unlike Draconic Soul. And this is one of the interesting things about Sorcerer, and I wonder if they're going to do more of this in the future. Rage of Fallen Astoria and Blessing of the Allfather are big con boosts in beginning spells. Or, well, features.
Which is weird on a D6 hit point class.
Well, it gives you more hit points. The subclass does. So it gives you basically the tough feat for free. You build into it a little bit. Pick somebody who's got a decent con. Give yourself a decent con.
Get tough.
Get tough.
Get tough.
You can stack the shit. It's not going to stop you. And you start feeling like an arcane paladin.
And also, I mean, I partially get, like, to be fair, the features in Giant Soul Sorcerer on a Paladin chassis, broken.
Oh, god, yeah.
On a Sorcerer chassis, fine.
Yeah. And they're all exciting, and I'm a person who's wanted to use giants and, like, their societies and their wars and stuff, or observe them for a long time, and have never really had the chance. And
this is a cool option.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I don't have much more to say about it. It's neat.
It's just very neat. It's not really my bag. I don't like... If I wanted to play an Arcane Paladin, I'd just play a Eldritch Knight fighter.
And that's fair. You get more spells with this option.
More spells, less beat stick.
Yeah.
So
we're moving on to the first direct fire sorcerer.
Number 1 of 2, Fire Timey.
What?
Fire Timey. It's time for fire.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Fire Tiny, and I'm like, no, this is actually pretty decent.
Fire Big.
Subclass.
This is Fire Big. I disagree. I think Phoenix is actually weirdly underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah. I much prefer Pyromancer just because it's much more straightforward.
Well, and there's a thing I love about Pyromancer, don't get me wrong.
But, like, this is one of those times where the damage boosting you get is just not... No one gives a shit.
Well, you get your
mantle of flame.
You get a small amount of extra fire damage, basically.
Again, that's your starting thing is your level 1 is, what is it? A creature, yeah. Any creature that takes fire damage equal to your charisma modifier if it hits you with a melee attack from within 5 feet of you. Or if it touches you.
And if you roll fire damage on your turn, you get your charisma modifier to it.
Which, by the way, is a better version of the thing we talked about a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's just a straight up better version.
Yeah.
Of the
all of your scorching rays will have the +5.
And it's for 1 minute, so it's a boost.
And you get it at first level.
So yeah, and that's
Not
cool.
6th.
But like Phoenix Spark, the damage just doesn't scale.
Well, no, but you don't die.
Yeah, but that's true of like there's actually a fair amount of ways to do that.
Sure, play an orc who is a Phoenix Sorcerer. You get 2 chances to not fucking die.
Or just play a barbarian and then,
Yeah, take a couple levels of barbarian. Don't fucking die.
Those don't stack well.
No, they super don't. But
yeah, no, it's fine. But the damage you do when you do your Phoenix Explosion, it's half your Sorcerer level plus your Charisma modifier. So it is by 6th level if you are playing a by-the-book Sorcerer and you didn't roll, which... Roll for your stats. Come on. Don't... Treat yourself. You're going to get like 6 damage out of that.
Well, and it doubles if you're using your Mantle of Flame at the time, why wouldn't you be?
To your Sorcerer level. Okay.
And double your Charisma modifier.
Yeah, so, 12 damage. At level 6, 12 damage is
12 damage to everyone in 10 feet is pretty solid.
That's nice. At level... next time, 14, when you get the next thing for it. Your Nourishing Fire. By the time you get that, we're not going to talk about the capstone. That is 14 damage plus 10. So 24 damage at 14th level. Tell me, as someone who's played several 14th level D&D characters and DM'd for a whole party of 13th level ones, what do you think about 24 damage? How does that strike you, 24 damage? That strike you as nothing?
Well, so to me, what the Phoenix Sorcerer is the person who should not wade into combat that does. Because they are a waiting time bomb. And once you get to that 14th level and your fire damage is healing you...
That Nourishing Fire is really fucking cool.
Yeah. That's what turns the subclass over from being, this is alright. It's got the inherent downside of being fire damage, which, aside from the fact that I'm not a huge fan of, fire kind of spell ideas.
Like, half the damn thing, half the monster manual resists fire damage. Minimum half.
What did I, the game hands it out resistance to fire damage like it was their new mixtape.
Yeah, they are the fire damage resistant SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
But so at that point, things turn over. You are dealing fire damage, and it doesn't have anything to do with the damage you deal. You just get hit points equal to the slot's level plus your charisma modifier. So every time you're casting a spell, that's hit points back. That's,
again, by 14th level, that's like minimum 6 hit points. For casting a fucking first level spell, which by 14th level, you don't give a shit about first level spells.
Yeah, and that's a level
do not matter to you. Whereas, and then like, and again, 14 hit, 6 hit points at level 14 is also not great.
Well, for a sorcerer it is. That's a level worth of hit points.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. The reason why 24 damage feels like nothing output, but 6 healing feels a little better, is the 6 hit points and the fact that the things you're damaging by that level have 4 million hit points and resistance to fire damage.
Well, definitely.
I'd like to go through and see if there's... I'm going to use 5e tools. Actually, we can do this live if you're up for it.
Fuck it, why not? Let me open a new window here.
Go to CR 12 and above, and then filter for no resistance to fire damage.
Okay, we're filtering. While I'm filtering, I would like to say that I think... channel trading. Okay, well, here we go. I'm glad I'm not on mobile, because this never works for me on mobile.
God, no, don't.
Resistance is what we're filtering for,
yeah,
and also immunity, obviously.
Yeah, double click it so it's none of that.
Yeah, none of that. Okie doke. This is a live tutorial on how to use 5e tools.
Okay, so
that's not a lot.
No,
it's not a lot.
Given the total size of all of the books out for Monsters so far, it is a pathetically small amount of things.
So, and what I was about to say is, and something I think Sorcerer is lacking, I kind of wanted to go into this a little later, but now is a fine time to do it. The next slot, and kind of this one, but the next slot is Pyromancer. And we'll talk about Pyromancer. I think Pyromancer is cool.
I like it better than Phoenix just because it's so much more straightforward.
I think we should have Cryomancer. I think we should have Acidmancer.
Well, actually, as a question, is there Ignite, I think.
I mean, you'd have to
actually, no, that's a Phoenix thing. Go to Pyromancer. Let's take a look at it. Is there anything that can't just be like scritch damage type change?
Well, and if you're clever at all, you can do that with Phoenix as well. You can be a Cryo Phoenix. That's a popular character in the popular game. Nope, this is just better Draconic Soul.
Yeah, this is...
Don't get wings.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. It's not better Phoenix. Phoenix has that healing, and that's neat, and the resurrection thing is neat. This is just cleaner Sorcerer.
Well, and these are... that's a plane shift is Pyromancer, but Phoenix is Unearthed Arcana. Yeah. There's probably a reason it wasn't released.
But yeah, no, this is just cleaner, regular Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Just scritch, put in whatever damage type you want, there you're done. In the new Unearthed Arcana, there is a... Sorcerer, or one of the things you can spend sorcery points on is changing the damage types of spells.
Yeah, I like that from a Lore Wizard, which we'll get to eventually. But and it just do the same kind of thing here, you know. I just take it and go, okay, it's this. In fact, if you give this to any other damage type, it becomes less effective theoretically. Because less shit, we're talking about the features of the Pyromancer that allow you to overcome resistance and eventually immunity to fire.
At 14th level, your fire burns so hot you can burn fire elementals. That's super fucking neat.
At 6th level, you ignore resistance to fire damage. At 18th level, you ignore...
18th level, your fire burns so hot you burn fire elementals.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's neat as shit, dude.
That's so cool. And you know, anything else, any other damage type is not as much resisted. So technically your throughput is worse. Well, anything you do to change this nerfs your character. Not in a bad way. I'm just saying if you are a DM out there or a player who's going, well, I don't know if my DM will let me do it. Might be too OP.
It's literally less powerful.
It's not.
It's literally less powerful. And in that way, this does make fire damage just viable. Because you ignore resistance at level 6.
If I did like fire damage, if I was the person who was
Pyromancer.
Go Pyromancer. Why do that? Do nothing else but that.
Get all fire spells, burn shit to the ground.
Yeah. Let's keep going to C.
It's a weird one. I like it though.
I like it. It's all over the place, but at the same time it goes together.
It is weird mechanically, but perfect thematically.
Well, it fits one specific version of the theme it's going for.
Water Wizard.
Yeah. I
the
think
ship's
I
mage.
A comparison to Pirates of the Caribbean, to Davy Jones' crew.
Yeah, you're a sea witch. That is what you are. You have a sea witch curse, which is actually, I looked it up. There are like 4 cantrips that applies to.
I know, right? It's really good.
Cold damage has 2 options. Lightning damage has 2 options. Force movement has 2 options. Unfortunately, lightning damage and force movement share 1 option.
Right.
Lightning lure.
I like lightning lure. It's good.
But stuff. Yeah, it's 2 different options for cantrips each. That's kind of thin for if you're going to be playing more than one of this kind of wizard or sorcerer. But for just a one-off, for like you're going to play the sea sorcerer, you got a lot of options for how you want to apply your curse, and your curse is actually pretty strong. The cold damage curse is pretty strong.
Yeah, reducing speed is really cool.
Now, to be fair, one of the options already reduces their speed by 10 feet. It just buffs it by 5.
Right.
But the other one doesn't at all, and it does slightly worse damage, but it gives them disadvantage on attack rolls. So you could give someone with a cantrip, do some damage, d6s, not great, but okay. D6s of damage, cantrip style, scaling up. 15 feet of forced movement, or 15 feet of speed reduction, and disadvantage every round. And you're a sorcerer, so you can single sorcery point bonus action that every round. That's really solid for a core feature.
It is. That's a really strong core feature. It's their later features that make me raise my eyebrow, because you turn into water.
That's the rest. The rest is you turn into water. You get a cool sea curse, and then you turn into water, and that's the rest of the class.
You know what, though? I say, if you want to get different with it, if you want to lean harder into the Davy Jones skid, excuse me. I said skin for a kind of reason there. Just take some of the aberrant mind and just replace those later features with that. You want to be a squid baby? You get your curse, and you're a squid baby.
There you go.
I don't know that I'd always want to be water. Like, I could come up with a character. I could come up with a couple different characters for this. But
also, the one problem I have with this one, which stops me from probably playing it at any point really, is this subclass looks like a job for Aquaman.
Is this a situation in which me turning into water would help?
No.
Nah, that's barely ever a thing.
I'll just have to fall back on my cool wizard powers then.
Yeah, you're still a sorcerer at the end of the day. Much like Aquaman can still kick your ass.
Yeah, that's no fish talking, that's not going to help? Okay, what about the fact that I can take tank shells to the face and then go and pick up the tank and throw it? Oh, that'll do that. That's super useful. Why don't you lead with that? The fish thing should be like something that comes up in your origin story. Lead with tank shell defeating. Lead with cool wizard man. I can also turn into water is just a fun story you tell at parties.
I'd make people carry me a bucket.
That's your War Machine story. God, you would. You would. That's not a joke. You would definitely do that.
I'm getting my bucket. People would be like, I don't want to carry his bucket. He's such a big pain in the ass. And I'm like, look, when you can turn into water and you can be in a bucket, then I'll carry you, okay? Oh, not allowed to play this class anymore, am I?
No, absolutely you are. Oh. I'm not one of the players. I'm going to be your DM in all likelihood.
Yeah, give me a really nice bucket. Let's roll to Shadow Sorcerer. Shadow Sorcerer is really cool. Makes you very stealthy. It gives you like invisibility options. You get to have like cool, I don't breathe kind of weird shit. It's kind of like a pseudo necromancer in that way.
It is like, it's a class. You know how I always joke that every class has a rogue?
Yeah.
Shadow Sorcerer is your rogue. It's a little bit more like thematic than the other rogues, which are usually just you get some form of sneak attack and you're good at sneak. Shadow Sorcerer is very much you are good at being in the dark. That's not necessarily the same thing.
Except, and you get a doggo.
You get a friendly dog. You get the Grim.
Which, again, thematically, I kind of get, but as with a lot of shit with Sorcerer, why specifically a dog?
That's actually a pretty good through line, is most of the Sorcerer classes seem to have cool, and then one of the features is, wait, hold on.
I think that's why I like Phoenix so much, is because at least it fucking makes sense.
It all fits.
Yeah.
It's not, you can fire and you heal. Also, you have a friendly swarm of bees.
What? Why?
Like, I get the Grim, and I like that, like, he just keeps coming. He is kind of hard to stop.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a cool feature, but again, why don't... they do have one of the most useful utility features. Shadow Walk.
Yeah, Shadow Walk's tight.
Shadow Walk. You can teleport So long as you're in dim light or darkness, you can teleport as a bonus action.
120 feet.
I'm done talking. Not so many times per day. Not after a short rest. No, that you just can. You just can do that. Unless they bring a torch, you just can leave.
Well, and I mean, I see your torch, and I raise you the darkness spell.
Yeah. Oh, we have brought all these torches. That's cool. Darkness. I cast it with sorcery points, so my eyes are glowing red. Begone, thought! I summon the Grim, and I get out. 120 feet, and then I run 60 feet, and then 120 feet, and I run 60 feet, and 120 feet, and I run 60 feet. I get away, and then the Grim fucks them up without me.
Oh, it's cool. I like it. The dog is a weird choice, but I still like it. It's not quite the same as, Divine Soul Sorcerer, and you get wingies. Why do I get wingies? I put them on you. Let's talk about Stone Sorcerer.
I really like this one, but for a very niche reason. It is an incredibly good way to mechanically make a very specific type of Alaran sorcerer.
This is something from your homebrew campaign.
Which steals from Jim Butcher's Codex Alera. There are people who use their magic to enhance steel and become better with swords thereby. And, this is a spoiler for very late in the series, the very, very, very good ones can encase their whole bodies in steel and become hard to defeat thereby. And that they made a class. They made a class that is that.
Yep,
They called it Earth for some reason, but this is a metal bender.
Yeah, this is a sick ass class.
This is dope. This is a metal bender.
This is the Arcane Paladin.
Legend of Korra. This is a metal bender.
They even gets the smites.
Yeah, they get smite. You're right.
Yeah.
This is Arcane Paladin, and if I wasn't gonna play an Eldritch Knight fighter, this is what I would be playing.
It's really fucking cool. You get a cool defensive abilities. You get smites. I don't know what they got. It's great. Just fucking play it. That's all I gotta say, man.
It is very cool. It is a very cool way to... This is more than Giant Soul or any of the others. This is what I would want. This gives me the exact tools I want to be a sorcerer who mixes it up in melee.
Yeah, this is a really cool class.
It does have, though, you get one more hit point, your AC is 13.
Hey, man, well, you need it here.
Yeah, I mean, look,
it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely, and also AC 13 plus con, chef kiss.
Yeah,
because once that means that as that sorcerer, you don't need dex.
Nope. All right, Storm Sorcerer. It's the sea one, but with wind instead of water.
Yep, that's what it is.
Do you like wind? Do you like Storm from the X-Men? This is your character to play.
It's all right, you know what? Let's make it a game. What's the weird out of place one here?
They're all pretty good, actually. Storm Guide's a bit weird. A little, only. I mean, I get it, but it's
very
level
utility.
feature.
It's very utility for a 6th level feature, but they get another one.
Yeah. Creatures of your choice so applying your thunder damage equal to half the sorcerer level. That's kind of
half
shit.
Your sorcerer level? Come on, guys. That's 3 damage. That's 3 damage.
Yeah, but at least you can pick it at. It's still not great. That's just kind of just shitty.
Yeah, so it's not
was
weird.
This core?
Xanathar's Guide.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
The next best thing.
Yeah.
And then we're back to
Wild
the
Magic.
fucking garbage baby.
Jesus, this has been a long one. We thought it was going to be a short
No,
one.
we did 15 minutes on how much we hate Wild Magic.
So
we filled half the podcast on that. Take that out, we're right on time.
I even wrote a paragraph in the fucking notes. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. This subclass may be not interested in Sorcerer until November of this last year.
This subclass, I didn't play a Sorcerer until a better subclasses came out. Specifically because this is garbage.
Yeah.
So, let's start with this. White?
Yeah.
What's your least favorite subclass?
I mean, I think, Draconic is really weak.
Yeah, okay, one of us had to do the joke.
Thanks, you're welcome. It's wild.
Of course it is. It's bad.
15 minutes! What's your favorite?
It's kind of got to be the Metal Bender, man.
Yeah, Stone is probably. I like Giant too.
Stone is great.
And honestly, looking at it again,
and
Shadow's pretty tight.
Honorable mention: Pyromancer. Pyromancer is just sorcerer, but done right. You're just a red mage, not a red mage, but you're one of the. God, they had that specific kind of red, like fire mage who wore all red. I forget what it's Faerun lore, so I dropped it off the face of the earth.
I don't know. This is Drist.
Sure.
Drist Duerden. You can play him as a sorcerer. He does fire magic.
Sure. I mean, whatever.
I think they actually are called red mages. I think it's just a thing. Two different.
Red
paths.
wizard.
Oh, red.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know. Who cares? No, in the comments.
But it's cleaner, regular sorcerer. Yeah. Like, if I just wanted to play a sorcerer to play a sorcerer, no wacky bullshit, just I want to play a sorcerer. The sorceriest sorcerer who ever sorcered a sorcerer. I'd play a Pyromancer.
Or a variant. An elemental variant. Fantastic.
I mean, I'd probably play Pyromancer because that's the strongest version.
Sure. It's the smartest one.
And it lets me use all the really cool fucking fire spells that exist. Because there's like a lot of fire damage spells and a comparative dearth of other damage spells. So I can use all those cool fire damage spells without having to go, it's resistant to fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I get that thing that lets me spend a sorcery point to change the type away from fire for the creatures that are immune to fire. Oh, you're immune? Okay, well, lightning ball. How about that? Fuck you.
I do like that as an option. It's great because, as you mentioned, there's a dearth of spells for other things. I like other versions of damage, and if for example, a Draconic Soul Sorcerer who is a Black Dragon who uses acid.
You've got like 5 spells.
Yeah, you don't got a lot of choices.
Whereas now, with that spend a sorcery point, congratulations, it's all acid. You do acid lightning bolt. You do acid fireball. You do acid disintegrate.
Goddamn right I do.
I don't know why you do acid disintegrate. Never change disintegrate's damage type. Force is good.
To stunt on someone.
Just to melt a motherfucker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Acid disintegrate.
I'm going to do radiant damage.
Prestidigitation.
I don't think you could change force and psychic and radiant or necrotic damage. I think it's just
I think maybe it's just the elemental types. You might be right.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm not playing a sorcerer right now or anytime soon. So, I will mention again here. I don't know why they haven't released more sorcerers. We'll get to that with Warlock as well. But like, what if you were part genie? Like, I know Genasi's a race, but like.
Make a Genasi part genie sorcerer. Cool, double cool.
Yeah, this isn't. You can just be a genie.
Double genie.
Yeah. Or anything the fuck else. You got a whole ass monster manual, man. What are you doing?
That would be cool because then it could be one of those ones that adds spells, and then at 9th, when you get 9th level spells, adds wish for free.
There you go. That's pretty hot. I love that a lot. Also, I want Flail Nail Sorcerer now. Level 1 ability. Your head is a flail. It is a weapon.
Level 2 ability. You are a snail.
Sure, you got armor. You get the 13 plus con armor.
Yeah, there you go.
The extra hit points, and like as you hit certain levels, every time you get a sorcerer's feature, you got another flail on your head.
Yeah, another snail flail.
Shit, this is my next character. How would you subvert this that doesn't involve flail snails?
I mean, like Stone Sorcerer, Arcane Paladin style. It's right there. It's begging to be played.
I mean, and honestly, the Giant Soul Sorcerer, play a Firbolg. Congratulations, you're a giant. You're not a sorcerer. You have natural magic. Like, it's the same thing for the Genasi Jin Soul Sorcerer.
Yeah, you're just a giant. You just have natural magic. You're a Firbolg. You have Firbolg magic, and you can get great big, and then great big, and then great big. Because Firbolgs already can become large size.
Well, they start out bigger. They've got the bigness.
The powerful build.
Yeah, powerful build.
But are they large sized?
No.
That's the thing, is you need to find a way to become large sized that stacks with that, because...
Well, my dude, you cast enlarge on yourself.
Because your capstone bumps you too. And they explicitly stack. So it is large, huge, gargantuan, and then you're the size of a brontosaurus. Then, you know what?
Y'all turning around on Giant Soul Sorcerer?
I mean, like...
In our Chuck, motherfucker!
It seems like a long way around the pub to go because it's like level 18, but at level 18, being able to turn into
a kaiju,
being able to become gargantuan size and fist fight a T-Rex, yes.
Oh,
Pacific Rim D&D edition. We are canceling the apocalypse.
How would you play this? What's your next character is another sorcerer. I'm mean in making you do that.
I've just played 13 levels.
You gotta do it again, buddy.
I don't know. They're so... I don't... Honestly, one of two options. I either play... Brain? Sorry.
I'd do a stone sorcerer.
Yeah, the arcane paladin. Yeah. For me, it would be I would either just play pyromancer, just 2-type, play the sorcerer, get enhance meta magic and quicken and just blow shit up, or as another option, I would play a dragon soul sorcerer, dragonborn.
Yeah.
Because it's right there.
Also, I would buff that for you because it's not great.
Yeah, they don't stack well.
No.
It's a lot of redundant shit that I get this for being a dragonborn already, so I guess that's lame. But it's right there.
You could play a red dragonborn and be a blue dragon soul sorcerer, and then you can be a purple dragon.
That's actually weirdly tempting.
Right? It's just
because the resistances stack really well.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Join the rest of the world and have fire resistance. I do.
God, you know what? No, that's the embodiment of that Tumblr post. It's like, haha, I've brought you to the aquarium. Your biggest weakness. What? I'm an ice hero. You're a red dragonborn. Yeah, I'm an autumn.
Oh, that's some good shit. I don't.
That's juke 'em.
Say the tagline. We're not gonna.
You got it. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.